Ladies and gentlemen, we are so close. In fact, we are less than 100% away from seeing an all-time high on HBAR. Just think about that for a second. We are less than a 100% move away from seeing an all-time high on HBAR. I say that, and some people might say, Nick, that's insane because HBAR is up only 345% in the last 1 year. But I want you guys to understand what's about to hit this market in a massive way. Like, this is probably going to be one of the biggest changes in scenery around crypto in the entire history of this market. And we're going to be addressing that, but we're going to be talking about a lot more as well. So welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's dive on in. Let's talk about a few things. Let's actually address the chart for HBAR, right? So currently, if we look at this thing on the daily, right, it looks like a massive sell-off. If we look at it on the 7-day, looks like a nice little correction. Now, I might hurt a few people's feelings out there, but this is probably just the start of this correction. I've been watching the HBAR Bitcoin pair. I do think that this thing is coming back down into this demand zone. This will also most likely retest the trend line here. By the way, this thing, I don't know when I drew this path here, but this thing has played perfectly into that. Which is what we were expecting to happen regardless. But for the most part, we are expecting this to, sell back off into these lows down here. Most likely chop a little bit and then continue to the upside, where our target is up here. Now, the move on this chart would be about a 45% move to the upside from this midline. If we're thinking about that, what would the USD chart look like? Well, ultimately, this is what the chart would look like. We would be, selling off a little bit deeper. You could argue that we might not go as low as like the mid or like pretty much the high 20, cent level. We could simply retest major resistance. So we could bottom right around this level here at about 33%. And what that would look like is something like this, but a little bit more, minuscule and not as significant to the upside. But one thing that I want you guys to understand is the next target here, in my opinion, is going to be around 47 cents. But at that point, we are not going to stop, right? In fact, we are going to go up even higher. And I have this 66% level. Now, this is what our current price action would look like. This is about a 63% move to the upside. And you might be saying, well, Nick, what is that 63% move? That is the move to a new all-time high on HBAR. Think about how crazy that is. We are 63% away. And from our recent high, we were 42% away. Just to know, I just want you guys to understand how crazy that is. Like a 42% move. Our recent move here was a 56% move to the upside. And that happened from January 13th to the 16th. 3 days. Guys, the biggest move in HBAR's history is brewing right now. And it begins when we go into price discovery. When that all-time high is broken and we are in price discovery, that's when the biggest move on the HBAR chart finally begins. Now listen, if you don't care about TA, you don't care about the charts, that's okay. Because we're moving on to the fact that Hedera is about to see a massive inflow of apps, major development moves being made as well. And the reason why we know that is because of this. January 17th from Hedera Watch. Just in the last 7 days, developers wrote more lines of code to direct Hedera network related projects than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple combined. That's insane. The amount of lines of code was over 222,000. Guys, I think it's safe to say that Hedera is witnessing a massive amount of development activity, but developers flooding into the actual network. Developers want to build on Hedera. They want to build, dapps. They want to develop on Hedera because of how efficient it is. This is very exciting. Now, also, I want to talk about AI and AI agents. These are two massive narratives right now in the space. AI projects themselves, if we actually look at the all-time chart here, they recently just hit a massive amount of almost $70 billion in terms of market cap. Some of the top gainers here have done an insane amount of numbers, but the AI narrative continues to be red hot, and we know that this is only going to get hotter with the launch of the 50 series from NVIDIA, and also enterprises still talking about AI in a big way, as well as institutional players. Now, the next big, red hot narrative is also AI agents, which is also growing fast. And we could see that, some of these in the last 7 days have been doing some nice gains. Nothing too crazy here, but still pretty solid across the board. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, it's because number one, Hedera has just joined the Decentralized AI Society to champion ethical, transparent, and decentralized AI. Together with Web3 and AI leaders, we're bridging enterprises with decentralized tech to build a fairer digital future. And here we'll be working with the society members to shape global standards and promote interoperability, transparency, and privacy in the DA or DAI landscape, decentralized AI landscape. We're also excited to support the Decentralized Artificial Intelligence Society in their decentralized AI salon during the World Economic Forum in Davos. So very exciting stuff. Again, this is just one of many AI moves that Hedera has been making, which is putting them on the map for, the AI narrative. Now, I don't think that Hedera is actually included on the list for AI, as you guys can see here, but I do believe that they should be at least. But also AI agents. Why am I bringing this up? Well, because AI agents on Hedera live. Now, this is a Spaces that was held back on the 14th, where we were hearing about how AI agents are coming to Hedera. Guys, this is big. Hedera is hitting every single major narrative in the space. RWAs with tokenization, stablecoins, DeFi, AI agents, AI, gaming, NFTs, everything. Hedera is a one-stop shop for literally everything that has been trending, that's been red hot, everyone's been eyeing. Hedera is home for all of it. This is crazy to me. But also, if we go back over here, right, the focus is still enterprises. And what's shocking to me is that we recently witnessed Charles Adkins, who is the CEO of the HBAR Foundation, talking about how Hedera is a leader in the enterprise Web3 space. This year, we're adding retail to that accolade. Check this out. So we already know that, Hedera is killing the game in terms of enterprises. Check out what's in store for Hedera in 2025.
I know the blog post touched on some of the core components we want to reach out to even more. So, the community members and DeFi and understanding the strategy around treasury management and tokenization and really becoming more competitive on the retail side while still actually increasing usage throughout the enterprise, kind of the enterprise sector as well. I think what we've learned is that, even when you go to these enterprises and you start talking to them about implementing the Hedera chain or any blockchain for that matter, they do take a look at what the user base looks like. And they love that when, a lot of times they'll go to the chains like Ethereum. And the reason they always say is there's liquidity there, there's users there, there's all of these things that you wouldn't really think an enterprise would be thinking about. But I can tell you just from talking to people on our council, those enterprises have people that are dedicated to this sector, the blockchain and DLT sector, that are deeply knowledgeable, and they look at all of those metrics. And so I think the metrics around getting individual users into the network, more builders, and involving the community much more is going to be a huge focus, including launching a more robust grant management platform that the community can participate in. And some of the themes that we're really contemplating right now were listed in that blog post. So I would encourage everyone to check that out on X, on the THF blog, and get your thoughts ready for how we can work together in 2025.
So yeah, I mean, listen, as we really think about what's happening here, it seems as though 2025 is the year of substantial growth for the entire ecosystem. We're not just talking about enterprises here, we're also talking about retail, but don't lose track of the fact that even though they're now going to be focusing on retail, we still continue to see a massive amount of enterprise focus that's also going to be growing on Hedera this year. I'm telling you right now, everyone that is avoiding Hedera, everyone that is, missing out on what HBAR is doing, what HBAR is becoming right now, they are going to miss out on one of the biggest opportunities that this market is presenting them. Again, I want to go back just a little bit, right? Let's go back to the 1 week here, because a lot of people forget. I just want to say right now, a lot of people forget. And what do they forget? Off of the midline here, HBAR going all the way back to 2021 into 2020, 2020 into 2021, HBAR did roughly an 18x off of the lows. But the total gain here, if you were around and researching in roughly like 2019 into 2020, guys, HBAR did well over a 50x return. Currently speaking, HBAR is up off of the lows. We'll go off of the exact lows, right, of the bear market. Even though, most people didn't buy that level, but I'm just talking about total gain here. So far, HBAR is actually up over 10x. Now you may say, well, all right, well, it already ran up 10x, so that means that the upside potential here is limited. I do think that this thing could potentially do at least half of what it did back in 2020 to 2021. Now, if we did at least half, that would be 92, that would be a 92 cent HBAR. But that's not where I do think that stops, right? I've given you guys my prediction on HBAR many times. My level of interest is $1 to $2, right? So even if we did hit about roughly $2, that would be about a 55x return. That would be far more than what it did back in 2021. Now, do I think that, we are going to go beyond $2? Do I think that we could hit 3 to 5? We could. But the question is, how much buying demand of HBAR will there be? That's the question. But with everything happening here, it feels like the tide has shifted and Hedera is now becoming a big, big star in this space. Right now, we are fighting some resistance. And like I said, I do think that this could be an area, where we do kind of chop a little bit, right? This is where we chopped back in 2020 into 2021 before we, sold off and then continued to the upside, chopped, and then that was our bear market, right? I do think that we're kind of chopping here in an uptrend for a much larger move. Now, we might hit, a level up here, chop a little bit, sell off, and then continue even higher before hitting our eventual top and then, going into a bear market. Now, do I think that we're going to go to $4 like I have this drawn? No, but, I'm just saying, like, when we look at this is what the price action that we should be looking for here would look like. So we chop here a little bit, move to the upside, potentially have a nice little sell off, then we continue. That's our top bear market. So I do think that this thing has a lot more potential left in it, even from today's, prices. But I know for a fact there's a lot of HBAR holders out there that are very happy right now. 2025 is looking like an incredible year for, HBAR, for utility projects, and for this entire space. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.